Good morning, good afternoon, distinguished delegates. My name is Naksang Chayaturji. I'm an Environment Officer from the Department of Environment and Climate Change, Ministry of Energy and Natural Resources from the Kingdom of Bhutan. It is my honor to present Bhutan's first biennial update report at this 19th workshop of the facilitative sharing of views here in Belém, Brazil. The first BUR provides a progress report to the information in Bhutan's third national communication submitted in 2020. Today, I will walk you through Bhutan's national context, our greenhouse gas inventory, mitigation actions and effects, the barriers we face, support needed and received, and importantly, our transition to the enhanced transparency framework under the Paris Agreement. Bhutan is a small landlocked mountainous developing country with an area of 38,394 square kilometers, ranging from 100 meters to 7,500 meters above sea level. Our population stands at 748,931 as of 2021, with a modest growth rate of 1.3%. Now, despite our GDP of $1.57 billion in 2017, our economy remains highly vulnerable and dependent on climate-sensitive sectors such as agriculture and hydropower. With 3 distinct climatic zones and a forest cover of 70.77% at the time, we are blessed with rich biodiversity. However, we are also highly vulnerable to climate change and extreme weather events. Our climate is characterized by 90% of rainfall during pre-monsoon and monsoon seasons, making us particularly susceptible to climate variability. For the preparation of our BUR, we established robust institutional arrangements. So at the apex, we have the National Climate Change Committee and the National Environment Commission, supported by the technical advisory body known as the Climate Change Coordination Committee. The National Environment Commission Secretariat serves as the coordinating body, working closely with the National Task Force on Climate Change that was specifically constituted for this process. This multi-stakeholder approach has been crucial in ensuring comprehensive data collection and analysis across all sectors. We are grateful to the support received from the Global Environment Facility and to UNEP Nairobi as the implementing entity for the development of this BUR, and urge the GEF to continue providing adequate and timely support to developing countries that are still preparing their BURs for reporting under the Convention and also under the Paris Agreement. For Bhutan, this is our first and last BUR, focusing on the period 2016 to 2020. Let me now turn to our greenhouse gas inventory that covers 3 main gases: CO2, CH4, and N2O. In 2020, Bhutan's total GHG emissions were 2,723.28 gigograms of carbon dioxide equivalent, excluding removals by forests. However, and this is crucial, our sink capacity was 9,513.50 gigograms of carbon dioxide equivalent, excluding sequestration from agroforestry and orchard plantations. Now, this resulted in a net emissions of minus 6,790.22 gigograms of carbon dioxide equivalent, meaning Bhutan remains carbon negative and maintains our carbon neutral status. So looking at the table, you can see that we achieved an overall reduction of 16.92% in emissions in 2020 compared to 2016, mainly attributed to the COVID-19 pandemic. The key drivers of emissions in Bhutan are fellow allied production, road transportation, enteric fermentation from livestock, cement production, manufacturing industries, and construction. For Bhutan, forest and land-based sinks are absolutely crucial for maintaining our carbon neutrality. Our GHG inventory was prepared using data from national statistics, surveys, and activity data provided by the different sectors from the National Climate Change Task Force, applying the IPCC 2006 guidelines, primarily with Tier 1 methodologies. Now, turning to our mitigation actions, Bhutan's climate change policy of 2020 provides overall strategic guidance, while our second NDC is supplemented by 4 sectoral low-emission development strategies and a national REDD Plus strategy and action plan. So during 2016 to 2020, we implemented several key mitigation projects with significant impacts. So the first is the Dagachu Hydropower Project, a 126 megawatt facility achieving an estimated mitigation of 2,500 gigograms of carbon dioxide equivalent. The Mangdichu Hydropower Project, a 720 megawatt facility, contributed to 2,421.27 gigograms of carbon dioxide equivalent in mitigation. The Bhutan Biogas Project, which provides clean, renewable energy to rural households, mitigated 108.57 gigograms of carbon dioxide equivalent while delivering critical co-benefits such as improved health outcomes, reduced drudgery for women, support agriculture, and gender empowerment. Our pilot windmill project, though smaller in scale, mitigated 7.57 gigograms of carbon dioxide equivalent. Our windmill project, though smaller in scale, mitigated 7.57 gigagrams of carbon dioxide equivalent while building local capacity for renewable energy. In total, these mitigation actions achieved 5,037. In total, these mitigation actions achieved 5,037.41 gigagrams of carbon dioxide equivalent in emission reductions with significant co-benefits, including energy security, socio-economic development, and local employment. These actions were supported by comprehensive policies, including the National Energy Efficiency and Conservation Policy of 2019, Transport Policy 2017, and various sector-specific low-emission development strategies. Please note that these policies and strategies have been updated. Despite our achievements, we face significant barriers to reporting and implementation. Key barriers include unavailability of consistent and reliable data, lack of adequate financial resources, insufficient technical and technological support, limited knowledge and resources, and high staff turnover, which affects institutional memory. Regarding support needed, we have identified requirements totaling $4.366 billion across multiple sectors. This includes $54.4 million for National RED Plus strategy implementation, $3.4 billion for all sectoral LEDs combined, and that is the 2021 LEDs, and $911.58 million for pipeline projects from our third national communication. Now, against these needs, we've received $82.5 million in support between 2014 and 2023. This represents a significant financing gap we hope that the international community will help us address. Support received includes from the GEF, including $13.97 million from GEF LDCF back when Bhutan was still a least developed country, support from the GCF both from the Readiness and Preparatory Support Program and from the Competitive Fund as well. Finally, and most importantly for the future of transparency, let me discuss our transition to the Enhanced Transparency Framework under the Paris Agreement. We are implementing two important transparency-related projects. First, the Capacity Building Initiative for Transparency, also affectionately termed as the CIVIT project. This was first signed in 2022 and established the National Thematic Working Group. So key outcomes include strengthened institutional frameworks for reporting, enhanced knowledge and capacities across sectors, systems put in place to monitor and report progress in both inventory and NDC implementation, and building technical capacities for monitoring and reporting progress. Now, this project ends November of 2026. Now, secondly, our BTRs and Fourth National Communication Project. So it was signed in 2024, and this builds upon the ongoing CIVIT project as well. Significantly, Bhutan submitted its first biennial transparency report in December of 2024, making us one of the early movers in the developing country. Now, our in-country technical expert review was completed from 6 to 10 October this year, and we plan on submitting our second BTR jointly with our fourth national communication in December of 2026, building upon the lessons learned from CIVIT on BTR1 process, and of course the technical expert review as well. Now, key lessons learned from our NDC2 and BTR1 processes include the critical importance of high-level political and sectoral buy-in, the recognition that all climate processes are interrelated and must be coordinated, and the critical need for enhanced support for reporting under both the Convention and the Paris Agreement. As we transition from the BOR reporting framework to the Enhanced Transparency Framework, Bhutan is committed to enhanced transparency, but we emphasize that this transition requires substantial and sustained support. The ETF demands more frequent reporting, higher quality data, and more sophisticated tracking systems, all of which require financial resources, technology transfer, and capacity building that go beyond what was required for the BOR preparation. In concluding this presentation, Bhutan remains steadfast in its commitment to stay carbon neutral for all times to come, a pledge we made at COP15 and reiterated in our NDCs. While we are a small, mountainous, landlocked, developing country with limited resources, our commitment to climate action remains unwavering. However, we cannot do this alone. We call upon the international community for enhanced support, financial, technical, and capacity building to help us maintain our carbon neutrality while pursuing sustainable development for our people. Tashitele. Thank you for your attention.